Is it truly possible to have more money and more happiness, like at the exact same time? It's a question I think, well, many of us have wrestled with. Sometimes it feels like those two things are just pulling in opposite directions. But what if I told you that, according to Ken Honda, he's a best-selling author, a renowned money expert, he says, it is not only possible, but it's very easy. If, and it's a big if, you follow his 5 core Zen principles around money. So today, on the deep dive, we're going to really get into excerpts from a YouTube video. It's titled 5 Zen Principles That Made Me a Millionaire by Ken Honda. Our mission for you listening is to go beyond just a summary. We want to unpack these principles, pull out the crucial insight, the stuff you can actually use, and see how they might fundamentally reshape your own journey towards, well, financial independence and, maybe even more importantly, genuine happiness.
It really is a fascinating premise, isn't it? Because Ken Honda presents these ancient principles, not just as some abstract wisdom, or like a self-help checklist. He frames them as really practical tools, things that can genuinely connect with modern financial well-being. And what's so compelling, I think, is this promise of a unique blend, timeless wisdom, and concrete application, showing us how our internal world, our thoughts and feelings directly impact our financial reality, like in very real, tangible ways.
Okay, let's start unpacking that with the very first principle. It feels foundational. Cultivating an abundance mindset. But, for a lot of people, especially when you're facing real financial pressures, that can sound a bit like wishful thinking maybe.
Yeah.
How does he ground this in something practical?
That's a really crucial point, because Ken Honda isn't just talking about, say, positive affirmations or just hoping for the best. No, he stresses actively getting out of your scarcity mindset. And he does that by making you address the underlying fears. Think about it, that nagging worry. Oh, what if I get sued? Or what if this deal falls through? Or what if something goes wrong? If your mind is constantly stuck on those fears, on the lack of something, well, that constricted feeling, it just prevents any expansion. It literally closes you off in your life and, crucially, in your finances, too. He argues it's a psychological state, really, that dictates how you even see opportunities.
Exactly. And he frames it as stepping into this beautiful world that there is so much abundance around you and you have more than enough. It's about being open, truly open to the idea that there's more than enough clients, more than enough customers, more than enough money. It's all out there. And if you can actually shift into that mindset, he says you can feel relaxed and enjoy and focus on giving. It's almost like a vibrational shift, maybe, where your internal state of abundance just naturally aligns you with opportunities that were maybe already there.
And what's really fascinating here is how Ken Honda connects this mental shift to a very tangible, very practical outcome. If you can truly open your heart, trust the universe, believe in that abundance, it naturally leads you to focus on giving, on serving. And like he points out, if you focus on serving your clients and customers, they will come back with their friends. So this isn't just, fluffy spiritual talk. It's actually about how a positive, open mental state frees up your energy for strategic, customer-focused action.
Which, of course, logically leads to significant growth. It's quite a powerful idea, isn't it? If you're living in an abundant world, whatever you do becomes very successful. It's not just about wishing for things. It's about aligning your internal state, your belief system, with the external possibilities that maybe are already there. You just need to see them. It's about seeing the opportunities that a scarcity mindset would completely blind you to. Okay, so if cultivating abundance is about looking forward, recognizing what's possible, then the next principle, healing money wounds, that really asks us to look backward, doesn't it? This one really hit home for me because it addresses why that abundance might feel so out of reach for so many people.
Indeed. Yeah, this principle dives deep into the root causes of that scarcity mindset we were just talking about. Ken Honda explains that often our money struggles aren't just about, say, financial literacy or lack of opportunity. No, they actually stem from deeper wounds from our childhood. It's about those early, often negative or even traumatic experiences we had around money, experiences that shaped our subconscious beliefs without us even realizing it.
He shares such a relatable story, a personal memory about his own mother. He says she was generally a sweet person, someone who was never upset about anything except money. But he vividly remembers her yelling at me about wasting some money or some resources. And that's just such a powerful example, right? How these initial experiences, even ones that seem small at the time, can deeply program our relationship with money for decades. We end up carrying these invisible scars.
And what's so insightful here is how these negative or traumatic experiences they don't just vanish. They don't just go away. They become part of your internal narrative, sort of like your blueprint for how money works or how you think it works. So even as an adult, maybe you're 25, 35, 45, you might suddenly feel bad when you are about to make a decision about money. Because what if I make a mistake like I did when I was 7? It creates this subconscious fear. And that impacts every single financial choice, sometimes without you even knowing why you feel hesitant or anxious. It's like a profound self-sabotage, often born from something that happened in childhood.
So the remedy Ken Honda offers is, well, sounds simple, but it feels profound. Forgiving and healing the money wounds will open up to a new possibility of abundance. That's what he explains that forgiving releases energy from the past. If that fear of making a mistake, that feeling of guilt or maybe shame around money has been sort of hanging around with you your whole life, then letting go of that past trauma, it frees up immense energy. Energy that was previously just tied up in fear or resistance. It's like a conscious decision, isn't it? To sever that old energetic cord.
Right. And this raises a really important question. So what happens when that energy is released? It means that whenever you make a new decision about money, you're not doing it with that old restrictive fear, that old baggage weighing you down. It's not necessarily about therapy in the traditional sense, although that can help, of course, but it's about consciously reframing those past events to release their hold on your present financial decision making. That's a powerful cognitive shift. It's really about breaking free from the emotional chains that keep you stuck in that scarcity loop, allowing new financial possibilities, new opportunities to actually present themselves.
Right. And once we started to, mend those old wounds to free up that vital energy, Ken Honda suggests the next step is to really lean into what makes us unique. And that brings us neatly to our third principle: discover your gifts.
Yeah, this is where passion really meets purpose. And he illustrates it beautifully with that two flower shops analogy. It's simple, but incredibly effective at highlighting the core idea. Oh, right. I remember that. You have the first florist who genuinely loves flowers. She's smiling, she's joking, taking time to explain how to care for them once they're in a vase. She just radiates joy about it. Then in the second shop, you have a guy, maybe working part-time, who doesn't really care. He knows very little about the flowers beyond, their price tags. He's just there for the paycheck. It's blindingly obvious which one you choose to buy from, isn't it? It's the one who loves their work because that love translates directly into the service and the quality.
Exactly. And if we connect that to the bigger picture, to our professional lives, it really highlights that when we know what we are good at, we can focus on more, and then it doesn't take much effort. When you're operating in your area of natural talent, your natural passion, your work doesn't feel like a chore anymore. It feels like an extension of who you are. Your own curiosity will just take you to the next level. You find yourself constantly learning and improving, but it's not a struggle because you're genuinely interested in what you're doing. This is where that idea of effortless mastery comes from. He gives his own example, too, with writing. He says it doesn't require much energy. Without thinking, I just keep typing for like 2 hours straight. He can improve my manuscript without feeling like he's working hard because he loves it. That's the magic, right? When your work feels like play, the output is naturally higher quality, and your energy becomes self-sustaining. It's a totally different way of thinking than just chasing a paycheck.
So what does this all mean for financial well-being, then?
Well, the idea is if you are super good at what you do, they will pay you more. And people respect and love you because you radiate that passion, that competence. It's a powerful combination. And that combination brings both happiness and wealth. This isn't really about traditional career climbing, like climbing the corporate ladder. It's more about finding that sweet spot, that place where your natural inclinations serve others effectively. And in turn, you're not just compensated, but you're truly valued and even celebrated.
Okay, moving on. Principle number 4. This one dives into one of our deepest, most primal anxieties, I think. Trust life. Wow. That feels like such a huge leap for many people. It really does. And Ken Honda explains that a primary reason we worry so much about money is that we're subconsciously connecting to a miserable future. It's almost automatic for some people. It's that internal narrative, that voice inside, that often runs unchecked, just imagining the absolute worst case scenario. I might lose all the money or savings, and then I'll be thrown out on the street. That's the future we sometimes envision, right? And it just fills us with this debilitating fear and worry, and it keeps us paralyzed, unable to move forward.
But the alternative, the one he urges us to embrace, is so much more appealing. Imagine seeing a future where I'm going to be having so much fun. I'll be wealthy. I'll be happy. I'll be financially free. If you can genuinely see that and feel that inside yourself, he says, you have no doubts. You don't have to worry about a thing. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but making that leap from constant fear to full faith, well, that feels like a massive jump for most of us. What practical steps does he suggest? How do we bridge that gap from worry to complete trust?
That really is the core challenge, isn't it? How do you actually do that? What's fascinating here is his absolute stance on trust. He doesn't mince words. He says, trust you have to have 100%. Come. It's like pregnancy. Are you pregnant or not? It's a stark analogy, maybe, but incredibly clear. There's no such thing as partial trust in his view. He even shared an example, I think, of a client who claimed to believe in their success, like 95%. But for Ken Honda, 95% of trust is 0%. You either trust completely or you don't. Because even that tiny sliver of doubt can allow field to creep back in and hijack your actions, your decisions. His implication seems to be that you cultivate this trust by consistently choosing to focus on positive outcomes, and maybe by acting as if the future you desire is already unfolding, sort of building a track record of your own resilience.
So it's truly an all-or-nothing proposition then. If you can fully, completely trust that you'll be fine, you'll be protected, you'll be supported, then you connect to that beautiful future he talks about. But even this little bit of worry, just a tiny crack, keeps you tied to the miserable one. So he concludes that learning how to trust is profoundly important for happiness, maybe more than anything else. Because if you can truly learn to trust life, you don't have to worry about anything for the rest of your life. It's about cultivating this deep inner sense of security that goes beyond just your external circumstances, beyond your bank balance. And now, for the fifth and final principle. This one is, well, it's as simple as it's powerful. Say arigato all the time. And just to clarify for everyone, arigato means thank you in Japanese. But Ken Honda takes this idea of gratitude in a truly unexpected direction, doesn't he? It's not just about being polite.
No, not at all. This is really a Zen principle in action, and it's deeply counterintuitive for many of us in the West, I think. Ken Honda shares that his own mentor used to call arigato a magic word, a word that opens the door to new possibility, new life, new world. It's about cultivating a deep, pervasive sense of gratitude for absolutely everything that comes your way, not just the obvious blessings, the good stuff.
And here's where it gets really interesting and maybe challenging. It's not just about saying thank you for the good things. He emphasizes saying thank you when life throws a curveball or for unexpected things, even when you feel lousy at the time. He gives examples like if you get laid off or if you're getting a divorce. Seriously, saying thank you then. Why is it so powerful to offer gratitude in moments of intense pain or challenge? It feels completely against our human nature.
It absolutely is against our nature, which is precisely why he argues it's so transformative. He mentioned some compelling research. I think he said 95% of the people said the worst thing that happened to them in their life actually turned out to be the best thing after 5 years. Now, that raises a really important question about how we immediately judge events, doesn't it? For instance, getting fired can feel absolutely devastating in the moment, utterly world-ending. But for countless people, looking back, it was the very start of a new, more successful business or maybe a path to greater personal fulfillment. The gratitude, even when you're struggling, even when it feels forced, it helps shift your perspective. You move from being a victim to being a learner. And that shift opens up pathways, possibilities that you otherwise just wouldn't see if you were stuck in resentment or despair.
That's incredible to think about, isn't it? That 95% figure. It means you might not see it in the moment, not at all. But with hindsight, those bad things often unlock new opportunities or they force necessary growth that we were resisting. Ken Honda's mentor, this guy Waha, who was apparently called the Warren Buffett of Japan, really lived this philosophy, emphasizing that you don't have to judge if it's good or bad and whatever comes, you can embrace it. It's about accepting the full spectrum of life, the light and the dark.
Yes, exactly. And that truly is a core Zen principle. Embracing both the positive and the negative without immediate judgment, without resistance. It means cultivating a mindset where literally everything that happens is seen as an opportunity for growth or learning or strengthening rather than something to resist or fear or complain about. It's a profound shift in perspective, really, and it builds immense resilience and allows you to keep moving forward even when things are incredibly difficult.
Wow, what a journey we've been on today, really unpacking Ken Honda's 5 Zen principles for money and happiness. From cultivating that abundance mindset to healing old wounds from the past, discovering your unique gifts, trusting life completely, and finally, embracing gratitude, saying arigato. In every single moment, it's a truly holistic approach, isn't it? It connects our inner world, our thoughts and feelings, directly to our external financial reality. It goes so much deeper than just, budgeting tips or investment strategies.
And that really is the core idea here, I think. True well-being, genuine happiness, and financial success. They are profoundly intertwined. They're linked with our mindset, the healing of our past experiences, the authentic expression of our passions, our fundamental ability to trust the future, and perhaps most importantly, our consistent practice of gratitude. Even for the hard stuff, it's about building a foundation from within, realizing that money is just one facet, one part of a much larger interconnected life.
So, as you go about your week, maybe consider this. Ken Honda mentioned that research showed 95% of people found the worst thing that happened to them turned out to be the best thing 5 years later. 95%. If that's truly the case, how might cultivating a thank you mindset in the moment, right when the challenge hits, right when things feel awful, how might that transform our immediate experience of difficulties? Rather than just waiting 5 years for hindsight to show us the silver lining, could embracing Arigato in real time, right now, actually be the shortcut to peace and progress? Something to chew on.